Hello, this is Sharon from the Genius Link inviting Johnny Oostveen for the third time. Technical issues with Facebook, but it's gonna, yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna have a talk with Johnny Oostveen. He is the founder of Arto Gallery, really cool app. Definitely, you have to download it. It has like an Instagram feel. You can like pictures, etc. So check it out after the interview that I have with him. I'm just waiting for him to get online and to see if he can accept me. If it doesn't work, I'm just gonna do an interview with him face to face, and then I will just share it. Let me see what he's saying at this moment. I am online with him, so working on it, working on it. Yes, he is here. That's a good sign, Johnny. You're here. I'm going to invite you. Okay, accept it. So we can do this. Yes, Johnny!
Here we go.
Finally!
Yeah, it works.
How it works. How are you?
Very good. How are you? It's good to see you
I am.
again.
Yeah, it's really good to see you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy that you want to do this interview.
Yeah, no,
Really
my
happy.
pleasure.
Hey, Johnny, can you tell me something about you and about Arto Gallery?
All right. Well, very briefly about myself. So I'm from Holland, and I moved here to Singapore actually it's almost 7 years ago, and been working in the digital startup industry for about 15 years now. Previously worked for some Dutch startups, French startups, and the last startup before I started my own startup was Spotify. And while I was at Spotify, I decided to do my own thing because I've always, wanted to do my own startup. And my own thing is Arto. Arto is about 2 years old now, and it's what we do basically is we help the average affluent consumer to discover and buy art. And we do that by using a recommendation engine, a artificial intelligence-based recommendation engine. So the way it works is that you download our app, and then we show you art images, and you just tell us if you like it or not by swiping left or right. So it's a little bit
Yeah,
like Tinder, but then for art. And the more you swipe, the better we understand what you want. And based on that, we start recommending you art, and then eventually you can buy it.
that is really cool. Hey, so, but how did you get to that idea? Why did you create an Arto Gallery?
Well, the reason is because I myself moved to an apartment, and then I was looking for art, and I went online. I Googled buy art online, and then I got a list of results, basically all the galleries that had an online presence. And then I realized, okay, this is not the right search query, and I decided to um, I actually thought like, okay, this is not the right search query. I need to actually to describe my art taste. And then I thought like, okay, what is my art taste? So I thought about that about 10 seconds, and then I was like, okay, I don't know how to describe what I want. Like, what should I say? Like, I don't know, something with colorful circles, or art that I like, or, how do I describe something? And then I started thinking about it. And then I was like, as I was working at Spotify at that time, I was like, hey, there should be a service that recommends me stuff based on what I want. Basically, what Spotify does for music. When you open Spotify, you get recommendations based on your previously listening behavior. I was like, yeah, that's what we should do for art as well, and that's how I started it.
Really cool. I downloaded the app and I really love it. It's really colorful and it's easy. When I
Thank you.
get to on it, yeah, it's like really you have an Instagram feel. You can like the art. Even I like art after looking at that. So really cool app. Absolutely. Hey,
Super
so
cool.
when I hey, so when I met you in Bali
Yep.
and we started talking about, art gallery and about me setting up my dream business accelerator. And I was really curious because you made this app and I don't know if you have a technical background, but you need people to actually create the app. And can you tell me a little bit more how you did that? Like, because you didn't have the financial means. How did you um,
How did I get the money?
how did you get the funding? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, as I've been working in the startup space for about 15 years, for me, it was naturally to think about, okay, I need to get investors. I do it the startup way. I get investors on board and then build a team and then build a product and then conquer the world, basically. But yeah, that's easier said than done. For me, it was also the first time to raise money.
Mm-hmm.
And well, basically the way I did it is, and I think that's nothing new. Is like first you start off with, okay, I have this idea. What is my value proposition and what problem does it solve? You start thinking about that. You start talking to people. I actually did a small user survey. I went onto Orchard Road and I just talked to all kinds of people, asking them, do you have art? Do you like art? Where do you buy your art? Stuff like that. And after that, then I created my pitch deck.
Yeah.
Um, 10 slides. I think it's a very good exercise. You condense all the information in 10 slides, get a very
Yeah.
good overview of your own concept. And then basically with the 10 slides, I then hired a freelance iOS developer to make a kind of like a mock-up, a demo.
Yeah.
And I spent a bit of money to get a very professional pitch deck. So the first pitch deck I made was in a PowerPoint that looked like shit. So I asked like a graphic designer, like, okay, can you make me a very good professional pitch deck? Because
Yeah.
when you pitch your idea, you want to make sure that it looks professional, that that the guy or the woman in front of you thinks like, okay, this is like a serious
This
something
is
serious.
just.
This is not
Yeah.
some like guy that is going to start from working in the attic and then start something. This is like serious business. So yeah, with that, I with the pitch deck and a demo, I started looking around, talking to basically everybody I know, and yeah, using your network. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, there are two ways to get money. One is from VCs, from venture capitalists, or the
Yeah.
other one is angels. So venture capitalists, unless you are a serial entrepreneur and already have exited a company successfully, you don't need to knock on the door of a VC because they won't be interested. So what you want to do is you want to go to an angel investor, which can be friends and family. In my case, there is one friend that invested. You got to be careful though with getting friends on board. You're mixing
Yeah.
like business with your friends and family that can cause problems. Um, and I basically looked at my network, and through the people I knew, they said, "Oh, I know somebody who is interested in art, and this guy is an entrepreneur as well. You should talk to him." So then, you start talking to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and basically that's where I got the money from around 6, 7 angel investors. And yeah, I was was very fortunate and lucky that that I managed to get that in about 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't think it's always that easy.
No.
I think it's also the timing at that time. You know, there was a lot of money available in the market, so people were willing to spend it. And that might have changed right now. But yeah, if you ask around in your network, you'll be surprised how much qualified leads you will get there.
Okay. Nice. Hey, so a while ago, I think it's a few months ago, I was also in this situation where somebody wanted to invest in my idea, in my company.
Yeah.
What is, because you know what, if you don't have enough money to like get legal advice, what could you recommend, you know, to set up like contract if you get funding from your friends, or if you get funding from angel investors, or can you give some advice?
I think the most difficult part when you start talking to investors is the valuation of the company, because well, basically I only had a 10-slide pitch deck and a demo mock-up. So what is the value of the company? Because you need to know the value of the company in order to give out shares, equity. So, you know, so a very good way around that, and it's I think the most commonly used method is working with convertible notes. And basically, a convertible note is it's a note that says that, okay, this particular angel investor loans you X amount, $10,000, and that amount will convert into equity after certain conditions. And those conditions are like, okay, it will convert to equity after, for example, in my case, I said 2 years.
Okay.
So if you've been working on your company for 2 years and it's easy to evaluate the company, you say, hey, I'm making this much revenue, and in 2 years I got 100,000 users, and then you can easier evaluate the company, and then it's easier to convert. Or you can say, or you can also say in a convertible note that you convert to equity when you get the next round of investment. So that's like commonly used. You say, okay, either converts after 24 months, 2 years, or when you raise, let's say, your seed fund or your post-seed fund, which can be whatever amount you want. It can be $500,000, $1 million, 2 million, whatever.
Okay.
And those convertible notes you can read up on the internet. There's like tons of blogs, and you can get standard contracts from the internet as well.
Okay, well, that's great. That's great information. Hey, and for the pitch deck, where can we find good pitch decks?
Yeah, pitch deck is, I did a lot of research, or a lot. I Googled around. I looked at some YouTubes from Guy Kawasaki. Basically, I used his format, but they're like multiple. Sorry, I'm getting messages.
Yes, I hear it. It's okay.
Getting messages from somebody else. No, so basically, I used the template from Guy Kawasaki. He is like one of the guys that I used to work with Steve Jobs. He has some good advice, like I said, with the pitch deck, it's just like high level. I think what is really important in the pitch deck is your value proposition. And basically the value proposition is your vision, and that's what the investors they're after. They want to hear, okay, what's the vision, and what's the exact problem that you're going to solve, and is the thing that, the service that you want to launch, is that really going to solve an actual problem? So that has to be very clear. I didn't spend too much time on the whole financial part because, an angel investor knows it well. You haven't started, so any projection that you make is based on assumptions, an assumption on
Yeah.
an assumption on an assumption. So, so just like some high level figures for your financial projections. That's what I advise.
Okay, thank you so much. And just the last question, who is your hero and why? I ask that to everybody.
Who's my hero?
Yes,
I don't know. I think Superman is my hero. I really
Superman.
I like I like how he can, with his eyes he can look through clothing and stuff, and
Yeah,
open doors and fly and everything. Oh yeah, and
super.
so I'm getting messages from my friend Kenrick, who works at
Yeah.
a VC, that I'm his hero as well. So yeah, Kenrick is my
Oh,
hero as well.
thank you, Kendrick. Okay, then like I'm just really curious about what's going to happen with Arthur Gallery in the next 5 years. What can we expect?
Well, right now, the number one priority we're working on is getting new funding. So I'm really busy again with talking to, again, angel investors, some VCs as well. So, well, that's number one. And then with that, with the new funding, there are like three main objectives that we want to reach. One is to grow the user base, so user acquisition. Then the number of users that we have, we want to we want to retain them better. So we want them to come back at least like 4 times a month or even more. And revenue. It's about time that we get some revenue in. And then after that, we'll go for the big play. We'll go for a proper, Series A funding, if all goes well. So yeah, just follow me on Facebook and watch this space.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna definitely be on Arthur Gallery, and I will see you in April or May for Dream Business Experience.
Well,
you're gonna be the mentor.
We'll see you in Bali again.
Yeah, that would be really nice. So thank you so much for doing this.
You're
And
welcome.
I will speak to you soon.
All right. Cool.
Okay, see you. Bye bye.
All right. Cheers. Bye bye.